Hey guys, thank you so much for tuning in to Movie Pop and finding out what's poppin' in cinema. Today I'm joined by my co-host Lawrence Amber,
Hey, what's up, guys? I'm Lawrence.
and we're talking about the hotly anticipated film Long Shot. Now this film is Seth Rogen's newest film, which is an unexpected collision between toilet humor and political satire, much like the odd couple pairing between the two characters in the film. So, Seth Rogen plays Fred Flarsky, a gifted and free-spirited journalist. Charlize Theron plays Charlotte Field, a smart, sophisticated Secretary of State who unexpectedly runs into Field. So the story goes along with Fred soon realizing that she was the former babysitter and childhood crush of his. Now, Charlotte decides to make a run for the presidency, and she impulsively hires Fred as her speechwriter, much to the dismay of her trusted advisors, which raises the stakes for this political satire slash jizz and drug-fueled comedy.
So, DJ, let me ask you: did you find the movie funny? I thought it was pretty funny. I actually haven't laughed like this in a while. What'd you think?
Yeah, same page, man. Had a blast.
Perfect. Did you find it entertaining?
Oh, very much so.
I th
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was entertaining. I loved it. And was it worth watching? I think it's worth watching. If you're into Seth Rogen and you like comedy, go watch this movie. What do you think?
Yeah, if you want to laugh and you love Seth Rogen, definitely. This is a perfect May the 4th be with you weekend film.
All right, so let's head on over into our next segment. So let's jump right into the review. Let me know your thoughts. What do you think?
Yeah, so general review for this film. I want to ask a couple questions. Namely, did we believe the premise of the film? I say absolutely yeah. Yes. Of course, naturally, when you go into a film, you always have to suspend your disbelief to a certain level. And I think this definitely does not surpass the threshold of believability.
Yeah,
And the
I
romantic...
think there was. Sorry.
No, yeah.
No, I was gonna say there's a little bit, but yeah, I don't think it's anything that gets you feel in place. Like it's, I was never like, oh my god, this is so unreal. I think it fit perfectly, like you said. Yeah,
Yeah.
I totally agree.
Yeah. And, I mean, the story aside, in terms of whether or not we actually believed the stakes that were at place, one of the concerns I had about going into this film, and I'm sure most people have this concern, is like, Charlize Theron and Seth Rogen, really? Like, is that really going to seem like a match made for the big screen? And to my surprise, it actually works out very well.
Yeah, when I saw the trailer, I was like, wow, she's in a Seth Rogen film. It doesn't feel right at all. But she comes down to his level, and it
Yeah.
works really well.
Yeah.
I was shocked. I was
Yeah.
like, wow, she does a great job. There's some really funny portions of the movie where you're just like, wow, I'd never expect to see her in this situation.
Yeah.
She just does it all. It's great. She's totally like a Seth Rogen
Yeah, I think
type character.
the strength of the pairing is, of course, Seth Rogen does his usual shtick, right?
Yeah.
Charlize Theron, Academy Award winning actor, she plays her role straight, you know? And it's nice seeing those two dynamics of comedy, like, interplayed with each other.
Yeah.
You know, the slapstick humor with, like, playing it straight kind of humor. So I think it worked well on that level. So another question, I have, and I think most audiences might have about this film, is whether or not it's a smart film, or is it just slapstick humor? And I have to say, with a resounding yes, it is a very smart film. It rides a balance between being too serious and also not being comedic enough. And
Yeah.
yeah,
No, I was gonna say, in my notes, I put that there's some good attention to like the current political climate and
Right.
current issues we have today, without being overly obnoxious. I find that a lot of movies make it so painfully obvious and so just cringy, like it was forced in there. But this movie, complete opposite. You know, it's light,
Right.
it's funny,
Yeah.
it's not obnoxious at all. You're just kind of sitting there laughing. You can't help but laugh because it's just well done. You know.
Yeah, it's definitely not a tone deaf film, and
Yeah.
it has its ear on the heartbeat of America, let's say.
Yeah.
So that would be a nice segue into my next and final question, is whether or not the film is self-aware, and this ties back tangentially into the issues of politics. And I feel like it's a very self-aware film, because it obviously has a certain political perspective, but it doesn't take itself as the authority on whether or not that perspective is correct. And it gives due credence and value to the opposing political ideologies or opposing thoughts on the whole media landscape in America. And I thought it was just very, very, very well done.
Yeah, I liked it. I don't really have much to say on it, but I totally agree with you. The main points I had was what I mentioned earlier, and I know we were going to head into this as well. Can I head into the cons?
Yeah, that was next up, our pros and cons. So let's start off with the cons.
Yeah, I think we totally agreed that the movie's a little bit long. There's not too many cons, but it's a 2-hour film, and if you just look at the trailer, you're like, how much can they fit into 2 hours? And when there's areas like it is funny, and most of the film is funny, but when you realize that you're watching this for a while and not every part of it is funny, there's kind of some quiet times. You're like looking at your watch, you're like, how long have I been here? Crap.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's a minor gripe, really. The film's mostly enjoyable.
Yeah, more than mostly enjoyable. It's an enjoyable film, and I'm sure you agree with that.
Yeah, I do.
I think the runtime obviously was an issue. It was overlong by probably 20 or 30 minutes, and I think that was just to the detriment of the film itself, because had those 20 and 30 minutes of runtime been cut, you would have had more of a back-to-back kind of comedy, laughs and gags kind of film. And because it was a little lengthy, I felt like those moments of gut-bursting humor were a little further apart from each other than I would have liked, but that aside.
Yeah, it kind of went right over being short and sweet. It kind of went on to that, all right, get to the point,
Right.
But yeah, it's a minor gripe, really. Don't picture yourself going into this being like, oh God, 2 hours of this, you know?
Right. Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Let's move into the pros. Hilariously funny film, as Seth Rogen films generally are.
Mm-hmm.
Very smart, very self-aware. The acting, of course, is top-notch. And the cinematography, I really appreciate Seth Rogen's films for the cinematography, because it's not a cheap, low-budget production. And I think that has to go in part with his production company, Point Grey Productions.
Mm-hmm.
And all the films they've made have very high production value, and they really are just beautiful to watch out in terms of the way they frame the subjects, the way the editing, the pacing, of course the cinematography, the color grading, all of it. It's a really beautiful film to watch.
They also have, you wouldn't expect this from a Seth Rogen film, but they're also like the locations that they film at are really nice. Because it's a film that's kind of, it's supposed to be all over the world. I don't think they film on location, but it has a bunch of different locations that they film on, and a lot of them are really nice. It's great.
Yeah.
You just wouldn't. I didn't expect it going into it. So it's cool to see.
Yeah. I've come to expect it, to be honest, and I've noticed the trend in this filmmaking. I think it really started to kick off with This Is the End, and then The Interview, and both those films are very high budget, very well produced films, and I think it's kind of like Seth Rogen's kind of trademark now, Yeah,
it's something I never noticed until you really brought it up. Now that I think back, it's like, it's true.
Yep.
You don't. I guess you just don't expect it from his kind of films, so you just kind of overlook it.
Right.
Very easy to do.
Yeah. So, what would you give this film in terms of a rating?
I think I'm gonna go with a 4. It was enjoyable. If you're looking for a comedy, this is a solid choice.
Yeah.
If you're looking for something with story, probably not your kind of movie. If you're into Seth Rogen, if you like comedy, if you want to laugh, this is a movie for you. Go out and see it. It's a 4 for me. What about you, DJ?
Yep, we're on the same page for once.
Wow, that's a first.
Yeah, 4 out of 5 bags of popcorn for me. Again, if you like Seth Rogen, you like toilet humor, but you also have a highbrow sensibility, you'll definitely enjoy this film. So with that, let's close out here. Hey guys, I appreciate you for watching Movie Pop. Please make sure to follow us on Instagram at Movie Pop Official, on Facebook at Movie Pop, and of course on Minds at Movie Pop.
And you guys know the drill. Like, subscribe. We want to hear from you. Just let us know how we can improve, what you liked, what you didn't like. Anything helps us. Any comments. Yeah. And the more you like us, the creepier DJ will become. So keep liking. All right. Thanks for joining us, guys. I'm Lawrence.
I'm DJ. Thank you, guys.